Have you ever considered a trip to Mars?
Mars One wants to establish a human settlement on the planet Mars in the year 2023.
And there are plans for the 2-year selection process to be televised.
4 astronauts will leave Earth for a 7-month journey to Mars. They will never return.
You have to think you are in a rocket. You're leaving Earth and you don't see Earth anymore. And you don't see Mars yet. So you're basically looking out and you see it's pitch black, a couple of stars, and then it taunts you. There's no way back. You cannot return because of your bone density, because your muscle's too weak. So if you would fly back to Earth, you would just crumble. You use a 2 to 3 G for the landing on Earth. It's impossible. You wouldn't survive.
Going to Mars is really no different than the early Europeans when they first came to the Americas. They certainly had things to worry about, but I can tell you that one of the things that they didn't worry about was going back to the old world.
I think people who apply for one-man mission, very excited people. Some of them really want to give a purpose to themselves. Some of them tell they want to do it for the nation, for the country, for the humanity. They see all the other positive aspects.
For me, Mars is exciting because it's the unknown. It embraces science, it embraces mental and physical challenges.
Since 49 years, we had, during missions, 4 Russians died and 14, due to the 2 shuttle flight explosions, died on the missions. And there is a likelihood. It is a risky job. I won't put that aside. However, we will do everything we can to avoid that. Can we guarantee? No. You pointed out the bone density decrease, the muscle gets weaker as a health risk. It would be a health risk if you come back to Earth. Since you're not, you're actually kind of Superman on Mars because your bone density is much higher and your muscles too, so you're super strong.
Am I afraid of what's going to happen to my body? I'm not really afraid of it. It's something I've given some thought to, but at the end of the day, I'm sure that something can be done to counteract some of the effects. I think one of the things that's really exciting about the mission is the fact that not only to be first for me is exciting, but the element of risk is somewhat enjoyable for me. The risk is not any different than anybody who decides to go into the military. If you join the military and you do a tour of duty in Afghanistan, you're making a commitment. You might not make the cut in training, and at the same time, you never know if you're going to come back.
We know from Mars 500 what I read, I was not personally there, is that the majority of the candidates got bored and it even might have gone into slight depression, what I was reading about it. This is a problem which should not happen. I was in isolation. I was not even a second bored in my 110 days.
When it comes to am I afraid of being bored on Mars, I go back to my early fraternity comment. I can be excited about tying my shoestrings. Basically, we're going to be in a pressure cooker for 8 months flying to Mars, and then we're going to be in a slightly larger pressure cooker for the rest of our lives. It's kind of a unique experiment, and I don't know if anybody really knows how it's going to play out.